the road to WrestleMania can always come with a lot of twists and turns. Some of them are great, some of them aren't. So, let's take a look at the build to WrestleMania so far, as we are just a few days away from it now. What's been working and what hasn't been working? Let's talk about it. The build up to WrestleMania has had a lot of hits, but a few misses as well. So we're going to break those down here on the show today. Just the reasoning for this, I was off in Japan for 3 weeks and didn't get a chance to do my regular, like, every week breaking down of all these things. And so now it's like, you know what, we can just talk about all of them in one big swoop here. So let's start with what's working. I don't think I would have said this before Monday, but I think Jay against Gunther is working. I would put this in the is working category of the WrestleMania builds. I just think, like, it starts out hot when he wins the Rumble and we get all the yeet chants and the amazing entrances and some fire promos and stuff like that, and it was great. And then we get Gunther being a bit of a smarmy heel, and that becomes our act two, which lasted a little bit longer than it needed to. And it went for a little bit as just like, okay, we need a little something, need a little something, need a little something. But the last 2 weeks with the beatdown of Jimmy and just how movie villain that looked, and then the comeback promo from Jay, and just like the whole I'm gonna pray for forgiveness for the person I'm gonna become when I face you at WrestleMania is just oh. So I think that the work that these guys have done to kind of bookend this thing, the middle was a little mushy, but the bookends that we got on this have been excellent. And so I think you have to put it in the what's working category. Also in what's working, Cena and Rhodes every week, banger promo after banger promo after banger promo. They give us just enough each week to satisfy while also advancing things every week and leaving a little bit more on the bone for the next one and for the next one and for the next one. And you get all these different things. Then maybe we hit a pressure point last week where Cody's like, yeah, but they've never chanted, "You can't wrestle at me." And Cena comes firing back at him. And it's like, okay, that's the one where we got him on. And I've said before, AEW does that way too often, but I thought this was a good use of it in WWE. But I just think, like, the promos in this have been excellent. And you can't, like, I'm sure, like, fine tooth comb, you can pick through some of the motivations, but it's one thing we talk about on this show a lot is let's make this believable for the characters. And all of it has been genuine and believable for these characters so far. So I have loved this build from these guys. I think that the Heyman aspect of the Roman and Punk feud with Seth Rollins has been perfect. You kind of string along, what's this favor, what's this favor, what's this favor, and then you add the twist of it, but it's not just, we still have a couple of weeks to react to it now. And so now with last week, like it's Heyman with Punk, like I promised him a favor. I'm always going to love my tribal chief, but this is my best friend, and he's asking for a favor, and it's at something we've talked about for over a decade. So I'm going to go with him on this one. How does Roman now has 2 episodes of SmackDown to respond? He's going to be on Raw on Monday. How does he respond to this? Seth now tying all of them together with his promo, and then with the nice little wrinkle of, now you owe me a favor too because I didn't stomp your head through the mat. I just think they have hit all the notes with that they have needed to, and I think they've done an excellent job in building up this feud and kind of attaching another layer to it with the Paul Heyman integration, so to speak. Jade and Naomi have been perfect. This is, without a doubt, the best work of Naomi's career. That this character that she has quickly developed has been phenomenal. I've loved every moment of what Naomi has done so far, and just absolutely bravo to her for putting that on and building up this character in this way. I think she's been great. And Jade has been Jade, and Jade has played the role of Jade Cargill perfectly. She comes out, she looks amazing, she kicks a whole lot of ass, and she leaves. The promo work, maybe not the best, but I think that this has really been a very well-built feud, and I think they've done excellent work in this one. I'll say the Intercontinental title feud as well has been working. I'm a little disappointed. I thought we were starting with AJ against Braun, and I was getting real excited about that, but now Penta in the mix, and then the added intrigue of the Judgment Day guys could basically be a tag team in this match, but it's kind of seeming like they hate each other, so we are going to have probably somewhat of a fracturing going on there, but Dom is stepping up with some really good matches. Finn is always going to deliver, and Braun Breaker looks like a badass. That torpedo spear he had on Monday on Carlito was amazing. So you get a lot of different aspects that are kind of hitting at the right time. So I think this has been a really well built feud. And on the other side, I've complained for a little bit about SmackDown not necessarily building up that main card. Well, they have now with the United States title feud with LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, and the added wrinkle of Braun Strowman in this thing as well. I think has been really good to give Jacob Fatu a bit of a barrier that he can still look awesome against, but we're not just having him come out here and beat the shit out of LA Knight all the time. And we're showing how tough he is. I just think that they have everything you need to hit with something like this, with a couple of guys who you're trying to not kill their momentum on. Because, like, honestly, like LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, US title, this could be a world title feud at WrestleMania in a couple of years. Next year, even. Honestly, this year. Some big names on here. But, these guys I think are that good. And LA Knight is still that hot that I think you could do that. So you have these guys who you have a lot invested in and could be big players in your future, and you are building up in a way that isn't sacrificing anyone. So I think it's been really, really well done. But with the good does come the bad. So what hasn't worked on the build to WrestleMania? I said it in the Raw recap. Rollins' talk of the soul of the industry is getting to me because we did that last year. The match against Roman last year was supposed to be for the soul of the industry, and that was going to be for it was to save the wrestling industry from Roman Reigns and stuff like that. And now we're saving the wrestling industry from CM Punk, who has been in the company for a year and a half now, and the wrestling industry seems to be doing okay. I don't know. Like, again, there were ways that you could do it with Rollins and with Punk, and I just think that, like, he's going to try to come and ruin wrestling when he's getting teary about being able to main event WrestleMania. Like, I don't see it. So that is one where you say that, and then it's like, well, and then you start to poke holes, and the more holes you poke, the more you find that there are holes to poke, and so it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. The other part of it too, and it's not like they've needed it because it was a win, 0 from The Rock in this whole build. And I get, like, it, whether he's going to be in Vegas or not appears to be a little sketchy about whether he is, whether he isn't. So we don't want to commit too much involvement to this. And again, Cena and Cody have been great, but we have missed okay, but why with him then? And that is the one layer that we still haven't checked, and we still have a few promos to go before we get to that. But I am very, very surprised that we have had not even a taped anything from The Rock so far. So that's been a bit of a, like, it just feels like one extra piece that is missing from this build is the Rock's involvement in it, because he was so good last year, and we're just getting nothing from him this year. We got enough to make it all make sense and to tie it all together, and that's it. But I feel like we need a little bit more, a little bit of anything from him in the next couple of weeks before we get to the main event. Io Sky being the afterthought is really bothering me. Again, bias, she's my favorite wrestler, but it is the fan perception was always going to be she is the third wheel to a Bianca Rhea match. And now I'm happy she is getting the spotlight. I'm happy she is the women's champion, but we don't need the promos to tell us that we don't really care about Io. I think we needed to do a little bit more of establishing Io than just we push her aside when we're having arguments and then she comes in and beats us a couple of times. Like, I think that there needs to be a little bit more legitimacy added to the threat that Io could still walk out of WrestleMania as the champion, and it won't just be by fluke. So I don't think they have done her any favors in this so far. And it's weird to say that because she's going to be a champion going into WrestleMania on a very well promoted match, but it still does kind of feel like she is a bit of an afterthought in a lot of that. And the last one, it's funny, I guess, at times, but the El Grande Americano thing or Americano, sorry. It's not, I don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is I thought honestly, it's my own fault, because we get, like, he's going off to find the master of lucha, and like Chad Gable, the Kurt Angle comparisons, obvious, like Olympian, a lot of American themed gear, ankle locks, suplexes, and very good wrestler, but can also be very comedic at times. And so, like, Gable has been fine in this, but it is just when we're setting out this story and we do that vignette of him off in Mexico and he's meeting the old guy, I just thought there was a little bit more seriousness that could have been done with this one. And then it's the like keep coming with the money thing. It's like, well, that's a little lame. And now it leads to this mask thing. Like I thought that there could have been an actual real story here instead of just a comedic one. And not everything needs to be I'm going to disrespect your family and all of those things. I get it. And you do need some fun on a show. I just thought this one, if you do it seriously, this could have been a really, really good story and a fun way to maybe introduce someone. And if you don't have someone ready, then you don't have someone ready. But this one's entirely on me, but it has gone in the entire different direction than where I thought, and I haven't necessarily loved it. So that's what's working and what isn't, as we are a week and a bit away from WrestleMania.